Everyone doing? This is Robert Madriaga. I used to play in the band 1967 for a little while, and I'm here to do some interview questions that Jamie had asked me to do. So, starting with the first question, it asked me when did I start playing guitar. I started playing guitar when I was 12 years old. I've been playing around different instruments for a while, between drums and trombone, violin, and I really wanted to play guitar, so that's how I ended up getting into that. My favorite guitar player of all time. It's really a hard question to ask. I have a lot of different influences that influence me. Probably, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Kurt Cobain. And I know he's not like the best guitar player in the world, but the guy had just an excellent style, a great way that he played, and yeah, just a big influence on me. Prompted me to pick up playing guitar. Playing guitar for me was just I love music. Music has been something that I've been into since I was a child, and I wasn't very good at drums. That was my original plan, was to start playing drums, and I didn't do very well with playing drums, so I ended up kicking that, started playing guitar, and the rest is history. My favorite band, that kind of depends on my mood, but I can give you my top five in no particular order, but it would be Nirvana, Tool, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. Red Fang is really growing up on me right now. I love that band right now, and probably Pantera if I had to pick another my five. My first concert was the Vans Warped Tour in the year 2000. I believe Green Day was on that bill. I think it was 2000. It might have been 99. But that was my first concert I went to by myself, and that was a good time. I think I kind of went over this question already. Yes, how come I picked guitar over any other instruments? It was the one that came more natural to me. I wasn't, like I said, a very good guitar player, but it was something that, or a drummer or anything like that. The guitar, I do pretty okay at. And I wouldn't say I'm great, but I'm pretty okay. Who are my biggest influences? Definitely the 90s rock, minus Pearl Jam. I can't stand that band, which is probably going to give me some flack, but I just think they're overrated. But I love Tool, I love Nirvana, Mudhoney, Alice in Chains, a lot of the music that came out of the early 90s. And then also like a lot of, early 90s metal, like Pantera, and then stuff Slayer was doing in the 90s and the 80s. And I even like stuff Deftones do, so I have a pretty big influence when it comes to music. What kind of gear am I using right now? So right now, I have a Mesa Boogie Studio Caliber 50 head through a 4x12 Mesa cab, and also an orange Tiny Terror or Dark Terror that I play also through another 4x12. And I have an arrayment of pedals, but I use a whammy. I use the guitar heads for distortion. I have a Hall of Fame reverb, a digital delay. I'm looking at my pedal board right now as I'm doing this. Electro-harmonics, small clone, polychorus, a Boss BF3 flanger, and I sing out of Sennheiser mics. How long did I play in 1967? I played in 1967 almost at the start when Jamie was first kicking the band up in Arizona for maybe about 3 months. And then I was relieved from the band for a bit. And then I came in and did probably about 4 or 5 fill-in shows on bass, which I originally came in playing guitar, but there was a need there for bass, and I picked up the bass and I helped Jamie play for a few shows. I first met the band. Jamie and I were playing with this guy in a Nirvana tribute band, and that's how we got introduced to each other. And after that kind of fell apart, Jamie had hit me up saying, "Hey, here's some music I'm working on. You were interested in doing this?" And that's how we all kind of got together. Him and I just met with him at his place, and we played out some songs, wrote some stuff together, and it was a good time. Let's see. So it's basically the same kind of story of the next question, but when we received the call to start jamming with them, um, yeah, it was after we played in the tribute band. We rehearsed at the time a few times at Jamie's house, and then as he found different pieces of a bass player and a drummer, we ended up jamming out a few rehearsal studios, and then at the drummer's house for a while. Um, when I was in the band, the lineup, it was Jamie, Dustin on drums, and Jeremy on bass, myself on guitar. And then when I came back to do some bass filling work, there was a few shows I did with Scotty and Jamie and Nate, one with Shoei and one with Matt. Um, and so I didn't perform in any albums, but I was there with Jamie during the initial writing process for his first album. My favorite song from 1967 is probably Flatlining Softly or I'm Fine. It's a really good song. Um, what did I enjoy most about performing with them? I just like getting out there and playing really kick-ass shows. I know that Jamie writes really good songs, and I like to just bring energy and have a good time. Um, what was my favorite 1967 lineup, and how many pieces were in the band? My favorite, most likely, was when we did one of those shows where it was one of those gladiator races, and it was Scotty on guitar, I played bass, Jamie singing, and we had Matt on drums. That was a really fun show, and it was really cool to do that show with everybody. And it was early in the morning, which was kind of a funny thing. They played the night before, and then I joined them for this show, and we had a really good time and had a good crowd reaction from it. I don't play with anybody right now that's still in 1967. That was the next question. I'm working on my own band right now, and we've been doing our own thing for quite a while. Let's see. What was the scariest moment of a 1967 show? For me, it was definitely, we played at a bar called Sail Inn, and we had some technical issues where I ended up being on a really short chord, and Jamie was having issues with his guitar, so he ended up putting his guitar down for one song, and he kind of put it in the area that was nearby where I was playing. And if you see the show, I kind of, I move around like when I play, and I like to get into the music. And there was one time where I got a little bit close, and I guess maybe a little bit too close for Jamie's comfort, and he put his arm over to the side, like, hey, you're too close to my guitar here. So if I would have stepped on the guitar, yeah, I'd probably been pretty upset. And so probably just as upset as Jamie would have been. So that was probably the scary moment, I would say. The most recent concert that I've attended, well, aside from local shows and shows that I put on here in Florida, after that was I saw a local H play, and well, actually no, before that, Alice in Chains came through here and they played with Korn, so that was probably the last big show I was at. Which musical idol would you like to meet before you kick the bucket? Jerry Cantrell. He's probably one of my favorites that's still alive right now. All my other favorites already kicked the bucket, so that kind of sucks. How many celebrities have I met in my lifetime, and who? I don't know. I don't know. I guess it depends on who you consider a celebrity is, but not much. I met like some Phoenix Suns players when I was a kid. So Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson, but nothing really crazy. What's the longest tour you've ever done? How many shows? What did you enjoy the most? So I play in a band called Barber Floyd, and we did a tour with our buddies Caramel Days out of Los Angeles. So we did called the Northern Nastiness Tour. We did 9 shows in 11 days. Started in L.A., did San Francisco, Eugene, Oregon, Ashland, Oregon, Portland, Seattle. And we did a stint in Boise, Salt Lake City, and Las Vegas, and then back in Phoenix. It was awesome. It was just picking them to go on tour with was Caramel Days. That was just the best band to ever go on tour with. Just we just had fun the entire tour. There was no drama. It was just a great time, and you know, freaking a great tour. I miss it all the time. I wish I could do it all the time. Right now, like I said earlier, the band that I'm listening to, or what I'm listening to, I always listen to a little bit of everything, but I'm really digging Red Fang at the moment. I kind of found out about them a little bit late, but they're just such a kick-ass band that I really enjoy listening to their music. How many hours do I practice per day playing guitar? Probably about an hour, picking up here and there, sometimes a little bit longer, depending on, practices. Obviously, I'm playing for a while then. How many songs have I written with the band 1967? I don't have any, I would say, direct credit ones, but Jamie and I were definitely working together on the initial songs that came out. He pretty much had all of we did like Goodbye My Brother together. We worked on some of that. We worked on just a few of the stuff for the earlier songs. I'm having trouble remembering the names right now. Which bands are we playing in now? I'm playing a band called Barber Floyd. We started out in Phoenix, and now we're playing out here in Florida. There are 3 people in my band, and we got the band name basically because we just were writing a bunch of ideas down and nothing was really sticking. And at the time I had shorter hair, and I was actually going to a barber. And I went into the car, and I plugged in the iPod, hit shuffle, and Floyd the Barber from Nirvana came on, and just kind of stuck in my head. I could hear people saying Barber Floyd, so that's how they ended up getting the name Barber Floyd. I sent it to the guys, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a cool name." Met my original members through Craigslist, back before you get murdered on there or whatever. And Gino actually was my drummer at the time, and he knew a bass player, and that's how we ended up kicking the band off. And then when the band moved out here, we had to. I used Craigslist for a little while, but we also had to. I used Bandmix, and then also just kind of networking with other bands and trying to figure out, who would be interesting. What's the craziest thing that's happened on tour? A lot of it's really a blur because there was a lot of partying when we were on tour. So some of it we remember afterwards that people remember and I don't. I guess we had just making funny videos and just finding them later was probably one of the crazier things. We didn't really have anything too wild happen aside from getting a few parking tickets and just eating awesome food all the time, and then just rushing to the next gig and just playing. I can't think of a crazy story off the top of my head. What's my songwriting process? So most of my songs, when we put them together as a band, they usually happen in practice. It's usually like someone will come up with a riff or something that is we've been like either sending back and forth for messages, and then we kind of just get together, and then the music ends up coming together. A few times I've written songs from start to finish, and it's just kind of we like to collaborate with one another and make sure that like our band is not something that this is how you play, this is what you do. It's like that's your instrument, feel it out. We do like pointers as far as like this is the idea I had for this part, but it's your instrument, your part, and you kind of play it that way. Who do we sound like? We've had a few different people say like, "Oh, you guys remind me of heavier Nirvana. You remind me of early Tool or Chevelle." I've even had people say that Static X kind of thing. So we kind of, I just consider it just a heavy rock band. What do I find as success in the music industry? For me, success is just really going out, playing good shows, having a good time, and having people come out and have fun. I mean, that's really it. I have no expectations when it comes to music. I just want to get out there and have a blast, write cool songs, and hopefully people enjoy them. What are my thoughts on the music industry as it operates today? Uh, we're just in the age of the internet, so anything is out there. I know there's not a real future or money in music, so we just do it for fun. We put our music out there, so if I enjoy listening to it, and hopefully people out there enjoy it too. That's really it for me. Um, what do I want to accomplish in my music career? Just playing music all the time. I like just getting out there, playing shows, writing songs, recording music. It's just having fun. That's what I want to accomplish, and if more people like it, then cool. That's it. What first got me into music? I just love music. I was always into it, even as a kid, and so it's just something that's kind of stuck with me my entire life. Um, who inspired me to make music? Just other artists, other just different things. From early music that I listened to with like the Doors and the Beatles, and then just finding my own kind of niche in music too, that's what really inspires me to make music. Just 'cause I like to do it. It's just fun. Who would you describe the music that, or how would you describe the music that you typically create? Heavy hard rock. That's really it. I mean, it's just not like I don't like to fit us into any subgenres or anything like that. It's just straight up rock and roll. Fun music. Who would you like most to collaborate with? Um, I like playing with my bandmates. I don't really have like specific people I want to collaborate with. If you could go open a show for any artist, who would it be? Alice in Chains, Mudhoney. I'm trying to think of bands that my favorite bands are still out there. I'd love to open for Red Fang right now. They're freaking awesome. Um, Local H, I would love to play with them. I go see their shows every time they come through. And yeah, we'll play with anybody. I don't give a shit. What's one message that you like to give to your fans? I just hope you like the music and you're having a good time. And hopefully we don't disappoint. We do shows, and if we do disappoint, it's probably because we're drunk. So sorry. We had fun. What is the most useless talent that you have? I'm pretty useless in general. So I don't know. That's a good question. Do I sing in the shower? What songs? I do, and it just kind of depends on what's stuck in my head that day. Recently, I can't get the song Again from Alice in Chains out of my head, so that I'm constantly singing that one. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career? Probably fishing more. I mean, that's really what I do when I'm not playing music and not at work. I'll probably be fishing all the time. Where have you performed, and what are your favorite and least favorite venues? Do you have any upcoming shows? Gosh, I performed all over Arizona. Like I said, we mentioned the tour. My favorite place I think we ever played at was a place called the High Dive in Seattle. That place was incredible. The sound was ridiculous. I don't even know how the hell we booked it, but maybe because it was a Tuesday night. They gave us a shot, and it was just a badass stage to play. My least favorite place to play, I guess I could say it now because they're shut down, was the Hollywood Alley. Not that anything was bad with the venue, but we just didn't have a very good night with sound, and it was probably one of the worst shows we ever did. So, I mean, nothing. We'll play anywhere. I'll play in someone's basement or their backyard. I don't care. I don't really have anything bad to say. We played in, huge venues, and we played in small venues. It's no different to me. How do I feel that the internet has impacted the music business? It's definitely made the need for having merchandise as far as CDs and cassette tapes back in the day useless. Hardly ever anybody buys anything right now. We just have a bunch in our merch box that just sits there. So yeah, you just got to look at different ways to reach out. So like we've made stickers or business cards that has free MP3 downloads, but even right now with everything being on Spotify and Apple Music, I think it's cool because you actually have a broader horizon for people to hear your music. Whether or not you make money off it or not, that's, to me, kind of irrelevant. What's my favorite song to perform? I don't know. We're working on some new music right now, and I think it's always just fun to give out new music and to showcase new music. So right now, my favorite songs to perform is an untitled song that we get up and we play, and we're kind of just spitballing and seeing how people react to it. But if I had to pick a favorite song, um, I really love a song that I wrote called "Clear My Head." It's a really fun song. You can find it on our Screaming Sun EP. Um, which famous musician do I admire? I admire Jerry Cantrell. I think he's been around the block so much, and he's never changed himself. And from everything, the interviews and things that I've seen of him, he seems like a very genuine dude. Uh, what's the most trouble I've ever gotten into? No comment. What's the best advice you've been given? The best advice I've ever been given was, you know, probably that just to get up and have fun. Don't worry about all the things that are going on in life. And when you're up there performing, just have a good time and enjoy your show, and it'll showcase through, regardless of how shitty of a player you are, like me, or how bad your music is. If you're having fun, the crowd's having fun, then you're having a good time. If I could change anything about the industry, what would it be? Um, I guess it would be bringing out more to making the live shows a little bit more incentive versus like making an internet video and having that go viral, because to me there's so much more when it comes to a live performance than there is just making a music video. Anybody can make a music video, and if you make it flashy enough and catchy enough, people can catch on to it. But to me, there's nothing better than going to a live show and seeing the bands just having a blast up there. What's next for me? So we have a show on January 30th at Black Flamingo. It's a brewery in Pompano Beach. And we're going to just continue writing music and writing songs. And hopefully as this pandemic, subsides, gets back to playing more shows. And that's just what we do. We get out, we play shows, we have fun. So that's it. That's the end of my questions and my interview. So thank you for Jane for sending me this information. I hope this is good enough for you, and we'll see you guys next time.